AquaMethodPodcast. Nonconformist, positive nonsense. AquaMethodPodcast. Nonconformist, positive nonsense.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy GP, and you're rocking with me on the Aqua Method Podcast. And as always, you can find me on Twitter, GrasshopperGP, Instagram, GrasshopperGP, both of which spelled normally. No special characters, numbers, emojis, underscores, nothing crazy like that. GrasshopperGP, Instagram, and Twitter. Send me an email at GrasshopperGP@yahoo.com for any types of sponsorships, advertisements, or if you just have something nice to say about the podcast. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who likes, views, listens, shares, retweets, all that good stuff. Thank you to everybody who likes the videos. If you just watch one video, it means a lot to me. So thank you to checking it out. Thank you for checking it out. Anytime you do. You are listening to this on Grasshopper GP Official. That's Grasshopper with 3 S's because when I made the account, I couldn't spell. Grasshopper GP Official. 3 S's is the YouTube account. Thank y'all for rocking with me. It's your boy GP. It's the Aqua Method Podcast, and I'm rocking with my friend Dan. What's going on, Dan?
Yo. Everything's going okay.
That's good.
I'm just tired.
That's good, man. I appreciate you rocking with me, man.
Oh yeah.
So I was editing the last episode, and my computer shuts down because it wants to install Microsoft Windows 10.
Oh yeah, mine did that too.
Yeah. So I didn't want it, and I kept canceling it. I kept trying to stop it, and it just it said F you. You know what?
It did that for me too.
You're gonna get this Windows 10 in your life. Yeah. And so the episode I was editing stopped getting edited, and it's due tomorrow. It's got to be up online tomorrow. So there you go. That's just c'est la vie. So I'm here, rushing, trying to get another episode in with my man Dan. I'm glad Dan was here the last time I did the episode, because we talked about what he wants to talk about. And what is that, Dan?
Oh, well, I actually just started my internship at the Acadiana Advocate, the newspaper, and once I get this done, I will officially graduate from college.
That's good.
Get my degree in journalism, and I'm rocking it because Saturday I had a story, Sunday I had a story, and Tuesday I had a story, and the Saturday and the Tuesday were front pagers.
That's good.
Including the amazingly hilarious article to write of the fact that alligators were escaping from Cypress Lake and touring UL's campus.
For those of y'all that don't know, the University of Louisiana at Lafayette has a actual swamp on campus, barricaded by like a brick wall and stuff like that, on all sides, and but it's an actual swamp. Like it's for real. It's got the trees, turtles,
cypress trees,
and alligators and birds, and is there nutrients? There's nutrients in there. Huh?
No, they did once, I believe, that one got in there, and they're like, "Nope, you're out."
Yeah, because you're gonna get ate. You're gonna get ate by all those alligators.
There's also a 50-pound alligator snapping turtle in there.
Yeah, they're big. But yeah, it's a real swamp, and it's one of the cooler features on UL's campus. And apparently a few alligators have been escaping.
The thing is, we don't know if it's one alligator or multiple, because the police believe it's one alligator because it's starting to learn that if it sees the cops coming, to run back to the swamp.
Man, shout out to the alligators, a small alligator.
Yeah, and then but the campus is the
Green Lives Matter.
Yes, Green Lives Matter. All the officials are like, we think it might be multiple, and we found the reason, so we're putting in a platform in the swamp for them all to. Because the thing is, when they remodeled the Union, they redid the wall, and there used to be a ledge where they could like sit and sun themselves on, and it's gone now. So they think that's the reason. Now that it's getting hotter and they're more active,
they're looking for something to heat up their bodies a little bit. Yeah,
but there's no ledge anymore for them, so they're just spending. And the thing is, alligators are notoriously lazy unless it's to get food. Yeah. So for them to take the energy to swim as fast as they can and jump out over at a low point by Burke Hall is pretty big, and they're like, well, they're mostly sunning, so
they're not actively. There's not like some sort of stupid disaster movie where the alligators just feel like, you know, attacking humans.
Oh, no, they haven't yet. There was one close call where a student was on her phone and not paying attention, And
was she sitting down somewhere?
No, she was walking on the phone and didn't notice it. And another student goes, "Hey, lady, stop!" And she's like, "What?" And sees the alligator just like a few feet away, go, like mouth open, hissing at her.
Yeah.
So it's just
that's kind of cool, man.
But yeah, we covered the first 4 escapes in the past 2 months with Rage and Wire when I was editor for RageandWire.com, and then 1 escaped last Wednesday, or 2 Wednesdays ago. Yeah, no, last Wednesday, and then it made a lot of press on Friday when during graduation 1 escaped and made it all the way to the library.
Man,
and that's like 200 yards away from the swamp. So
so UL is the second biggest school in Louisiana. I'm a proud alumni of UL.
Oh man, no, sorry. If you're a singular male, it's actually alumnus.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was alumni is plural.
Alumni is plural for male or
Right.
female, mixed, or just a group of males. So.
Well, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
From I always get those
Yeah.
confused, those mixed up. Alumnus and alumni.
It's alumnus
But-
for male, alumna for
Alumna,
female.
yeah, I knew that.
Alumni for male and female, and alumnae for all female. So.
I knew that, but it's funny that we stereotype. We portray the stereotype of us Louisianians having alligators as pets, and we have an actual swamp on our campus.
Yeah.
We're really not that backwards, y'all. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I always make the joke that, thanks to Swamp People and Hurricane Katrina, there's only 2 cities in Louisiana according to non-Louisianans. It's New Orleans and Swamp.
Right.
There was one time I was on a chat roulette with a friend of mine, and we were just going through it, and we only saw like 2 penises, which is really good ratio.
Okay, that's good.
For only an hour, for being on it for an hour.
That's
but
good.
We came across these 2. We came across 2 teenage girls from London, and
Okay.
they're like, "We're from London. Where are you?" And we're like, "Oh, we're from Louisiana." Like Swamp People, and one of them goes, "Shoot him." And it's like British accent makes everything sound good, but not shoot 'em.
No, that's a fictional tale you just told. There's no way that's real.
That's completely real.
Come on.
Yep.
Man, see, that's a bad representation.
Yeah.
I haven't watched an episode of that.
I've watched a couple, and the thing is, they look for people to play the stereotype.
Yeah, come on,
essentially,
man.
because like Troy Landry is not actually he's the second most profitable alligator hunter out there. The first most is a friend of my dad's from Alexandria, who actually like has bought the land that he hunts the alligators on, so he doesn't have to pay the. He's got hundreds of acres of swampland like that he owns, and so he doesn't pay the government to hunt. He makes sure he covers all that. And he said Swamp People contacted him, and the thing is, he's got an accent like you or me,
Right.
no Cajun accent.
Yeah.
And he was speaking with the Swamp People before season 1 even started, and they were like, "Excuse me, are you putting on an act for us? What are you talking about?" It's like, "Well, you don't have an accent. It's like,
ignorant, man.
And he's just like,
It's ignorant.
"Are you even Cajun?" He's like, "My family came here, in the late 1700s. I'm Cajun." And they're like, "Well, you don't have the accent." And it's like, "Sir, I have a degree in business from LSU and a master's in an MBA from Texas A&M. The fact that you're asking for, and then of course we've seen all the people that are on it. It's all, heck, one of them, Elizabeth, that was Troy Landry's assistant, helper hunter in the second season, doesn't even act like that, and she never hunted alligators before that. She's one of the guys who come here's aunt.
Yeah.
And she's an actress. She was never an alligator hunter, but they put this whole thing. It's like her family's been hunting alligators for generations, and it's like,
See, I just don't like the stereotypes
Oh,
and
no.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we won't get back on that because when we were talking about the swamp at
Yeah.
UL, I was thinking about the squirrels,
yeah,
the mutant squirrels that we have.
oh yeah.
I seen.
Well, did you see this?
What's that? What you got?
The picture that our photographer
Don't
took
feed the
of
squirrels?
Cypress Lake that says don't alligator habitat, be careful, don't feed the alligators.
Right.
And a squirrel, one of
squirrel,
those
right.
mutant squirrels,
Well,
ran right across the
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture.
picture.
And I just, if you didn't point it out, I would have never seen that squirrel.
But yeah, he got it perfectly just running across right as he took the picture.
We got squirrels the size of baby foxes.
Yeah, they're giant on campus, and they're actually, like, I've seen them look both ways before crossing the street.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
I remember I was walking out of the Union when I was at school, and I saw these two white dudes looking in a tree. I thought they was high because they were just looking and like staring at like some like.
Well, that's always a distinct possibility on campus, you know.
Yes, it's a couple of long-haired white dudes. I thought they was scared of boys. I thought it was blown out, But I saw it and they said, "Dude, look." I'm like, "What's going on in this tree?" That was a squirrel eating a 6-inch sandwich from Subway, flatbread.
Stole it from somebody?
He must have.
Yeah.
But he had both paws on it, like a human.
Yeah.
Like a human eating a giant sandwich. It was phenomenal. I never seen nothing like that in my life.
Probably held on to that for winter.
Maybe so. Put them in little cheeks, Yeah, but like, what other Louisiana stereotypes that you come across?
The fact that every time someone hears my last name of Boudreaux, they want me to tell a Boudreaux and Thibodeau joke, especially when I tell them I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, but it's a Cajun joke. It's Cajun comedy. It's like, no, it's not, because those are all canned jokes. Every region has that same joke, but with a different name. Yeah. I went up to Canada, and they literally have the same jokes, except instead of Boudreaux and Thibodeau, it's an Ontarian and a Newfie, which is making fun of Newfoundland people. They love making fun of people from Newfoundland in Canada.
Yeah, it's the accent, man. It's like I've been told, because I remember a few occasions people say like, you don't sound like you're from Louisiana, and I guess I don't know if I take that as a good thing or as a bad thing. It's funny because like when I get closer to my mom and my family, I feel like my whole accent changes. I'm like, why am I talking like
my
this?
mom does that. My mom
I don't know, it's like adaptive evolution or something, like Darwin from X-Men or something.
Yeah, she lived in California for 3 years, Arizona for 10, and has lived in Colorado for 7. And if she comes back down here to where she grew up, she grew up in Eunice, the accent's back immediately. I'm like, what? How do you, what?
It's funny how things like that happen, man.
Meanwhile, I've been down here, off and on from my entire life from birth until 7, and then at 7 to 12 I was traveling around, but then 12 to today, no accent. It's like, but I know how to do it. You gotta put the tongue back in the back of your mouth, and you're just like, hey, how you doing there, Shal? And the best thing is I have a friend who's a voice actress, and I tried teaching her when we were in New Orleans, walking down Canal. Tried teaching it to her, and she's like, how do you do that? I'm like, okay, you put the tongue, and she started doing it, and almost had it, and I'm like, see, there you go. So many people are perplexed by that accent.
You sound more like Foghorn Leghorn, straight up.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll tell you what, sir.
No, that's a more Kentucky Southern accent right there, Yeah, I'll tell you, boy. I'll tell you something, boy. My boy. No, that boy ain't right. No, but in Cajun, you gotta put the tongue in the back of your throat, and you never say the T. Unless you're saying the word T, the letter T. Otherwise, it's D. Like, look over there,
Right.
Oh, look at that. You gotta. Sometimes you just gotta not even make words. It's over there.
It's so stupid, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
Me and my friend Pierce, I had him on the show a couple episodes ago, and I'm gonna have him on again. We always mess around because we work at the station together. And we always do a Cajun accent, like just stereotypical Cajun accent. We just start clowning each other. But yeah, like the people, like it's just the French culture, that proliferates Louisiana. I think it's cool because there's no other state like it.
No, well the thing is, Louisiana up until World War II, the Cajuns were very isolated. Almost like no one ever really came down here from anywhere else besides maybe Texas. It was, and then in World War II, Cajuns got conscripted and drafted into the army, and they were like, "Oh, you guys speak French? Well, we'll teach you how to speak it with a French accent so you can spy." And they used us, they used Cajuns for spy missions. And then after that, but then the ones that didn't, they literally beat the accent out of them and beat and then the school districts got nationalized essentially, and teachers came down here and they just started whipping the French out of them. And the thing is, that's why so many people who are Cajun descent and Creole even don't speak French anymore and don't have that accent, because it was just beaten out of families.
I guess because I walk around here, man, you can still hear that thick ass.
But it's usually people in their 40s and 50s. And
I don't know, man. It's like I feel like there's a distinctive Eunice accent.
Yeah. Well, no, but the thing is, some of the back areas didn't get as changed, but something like Opelousas or Lafayette or Lake Charles or Baton Rouge, that was just, and New Orleans, it was. Like, I've studied it. There's a really great book called The Cajuns, The Americanizations of a People by Shane Bernard. It's really, like, you read some of the stuff that, like, both the state government and the federal government did to Cajun people in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it was just like, whoa. That was unexpected. Like, I mean, if a kid, like, stubbed his toe and said something, like, said, "Oh, shoot," but in, like, French, they'd get lashed. Like, you said anything in French, or you spoke with an accent, they would lash the crap out of you.
You read this from what?
It's a
I never heard none of this.
Yeah, it's a book called The Cajuns, An Americanization of a People. It's by Shane Bernard. He's a historian.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's another great story in that one. The second chapter talks about how just completely isolated Louisiana was from everything. When if you look this up, in 47 or 48, I can't remember exactly when, a meteorite hit the Atchafalaya Basin.
Come on.
And no, completely true. You can even go to the Science Museum. They have a little plaque about it, talking about it. Yeah. It lit up the sky, and it went in the middle of the Atchafalaya Basin. So everyone in Opelousas and Lafayette thought Baton Rouge had been nuked, and everyone in Baton Rouge had thought Lafayette had been nuked. And nobody would, like, and the thing is, it had cut out, like, telephone, so, like, you couldn't get the calls to the other side. So everyone for days thought the other side of the basin was nuked, because it lit up the sky and you could hear it for almost 100 miles. It was just whoa. There was very few people were killed because it hit right in the middle of the Atchafalaya, and not very many people were out there. But what happened was, somebody finally went and drove the old highway and found out Opelousas and Lafayette were fine, and went back to tell Baton Rouge.
That's good.
But it was like 3 days. Everyone thought the other side were too afraid to go, because if you remember, the Cold War was starting to ramp up at that time.
Okay.
So everyone thought Russia.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense where that fear would come in.
Yeah.
But so a meteorite lands in Lafayette.
Well, not in Lafayette, in the basin.
In the basin.
Yeah. And everyone on the east side of it thought that Lafayette had been nuked, and everyone on the west side of it thought Baton Rouge had been nuked.
Did a small alien baby come out of it?
No, we didn't have a Cajun.
Maybe a little cape.
We didn't have a Cajun Superman.
Oh well, shucks. Are you sure? It's not Clay Higgins?
No. Oh hell no.
It's not Lieutenant Clay.
Oh, especially because if you do the math, he's younger than that. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he said he doesn't have a drop of Cajun in him.
Yeah.
But
wouldn't an alien Superman baby not have? I mean,
yeah, good point.
Superman ain't.
Clay Higgins might be Superman.
Yeah, I did.
He's certainly John Wayne.
Oh boy, have you? Was it? You remember that when President Obama got elected, they created an alternate universe where he was Superman and was the president of the United States.
DC did that?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
And they never called him, Barack Obama, but he looked just like him, and he was Superman.
Barack Obama sounds like an alien name.
Well, it is alien as in no,
like a comic book name. You know?
But so what was great was everyone was like, "Oh, that's so cool," and somebody just pointed out, I was like, "Okay, now here's the thing: we can't get his birth certificate because Because he was an alien. And everyone's just like, how does that work?
Man.
And then so like DC was doing this homage, and it just opened up more, more jokes about the birth certificate controversy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and Donald Trump looking for it and hunting for it, and he's about to be the president of the United States.
Oh dear God!
Just kidding. Hopefully not. I don't know.
Well, you heard
man.
someone asked him if he would offer the VP spot to Bernie Sanders, and he's like, "That's a good idea," and everyone just went, "What?"
Right. I saw the best tweet ever a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't this close. I mean, he's like the only Republican candidate, right?
Everyone's dropped out now.
Yeah.
So.
But this was like I think at this time like Jeb Bush and a few other people were still in it.
The last two were Kasich and
Kasich
Cruz.
and Cruz and Rubio and
Rubio was like dropped out about 2 or 3 months ago. So
and he was
when
like
he lost Florida, he lost his home state to Trump.
That's awful.
Yeah,
that's awful. That's really bad. But he was like
Kasich was in it, and he had only won his home state, and everyone's like, "Why don't you drop out?"
Bro, I didn't know Kasich was in it until he was the only person left.
Yeah, and then he dropped out the next day.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was proud of him for fighting, man. I was proud of him for staying in there
Well,
because he had to have the smallest base ever.
Oh yeah, and then
all of them.
And he only won his home state, and then him and before Indiana, him and Cruz were like having this plan to like one would drop out in one state and the other would drop out in another state, and endorse the other one just so they'd get more votes than Trump, and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
But anyway, I saw this tweet and it was like a little series of like small tweets, and it was like, there's no way he's going to be president. There's no way Donald Trump's going to be president. Then the next tweet was like, there's no way President Trump is going to allow this to happen. And there's no way, and then the third one was like, what channel is the Hunger Games coming on? You know, what channel? I hope my district wins, because that's what's going to happen if Donald Trump becomes president. It's going to be the Hunger Games.
Yeah, although a lot of people are, there are some political theorists that are like, if he does win, both the Republicans and the Democrats in the House and Senate will literally like work together to block everything he tries to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just
that's the best case scenario.
I'm surprised. Well, that's just the fault of the Republican Party for not having nobody stronger.
Yeah. Well, no, the main problem was they had a lot of candidates who could have, but they had so many that split the other's votes that he then became this unstoppable juggernaut. By the time the crappy candidates dropped out and stopped splitting the votes, it's too late.
Good point.
Like if there were 18 Republican candidates,
they had to have like 2 separate conventions for them.
They had to have debates. They had
that's what I meant,
two separate debates, and it was just like.
Yeah,
like why was Jindal even in there? He never got more than 1% of the vote in.
I forgot he was in it.
Yeah.
Some people were like some of them was upset that they had to go like to the kiddie table.
Yeah, and it's just debates. Like you have like less than 1% of the polling.
Cares, man. Stop it.
Why are you here?
But you gotta have a dream though. So,
yeah,
go for your dreams. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? If there's a slim chance, there's still a chance, you know.
I still remember when Barbara Bush was campaigning for Jeb, and that was just sad.
The funniest part was when Jeb Bush was I think he was in Florida somewhere, and he was campaigning, and he made some sort of strong statement, and he was like,
he goes, "Please clap."
Yeah, nobody claps.
Yeah.
Right? And he looked so disappointed. He looked so downtrodden and hurt that nobody was clapping. Like,
his mom was campaigning for him. It's like, he's a good boy, you know. He's been married for 30 years, and he has he has this many kids and this many great.
It was 3.2.
Yeah, and it was just like, and he's so smart. You should vote for him. It's like your mom when you're like 16 trying to hook you up with your with her friend's daughter.
Right.
It's just like, he's this and this and this. He's got a strong jawline.
Right. He's got good mating genes.
Well, no, that would be his dad genes he always wore. Those are awful.
Right.
Almost as bad as Carly Fiorina being a vice presidential candidate for a week.
Yeah. For
Cruz asked her to be his VP candidate, and then he dropped out a week later. So it's like.
Speaking of that shit, man, you watch Veep on HBO?
I do not have HBO.
You don't have HBO?
Yeah. Which now I'm behind on Game of Thrones because I read all the books and I'm like, and then it's like actually gone beyond the books and I'm like,
Game of Thrones HBO has a lot of good programming, but if they didn't, people would have HBO straight up just for Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Just so they wouldn't be the only person not that doesn't have HBO, they get spoiled on Twitter. Because
there's no way. Like I hear the stuff. Computers. Although here's the thing, I read the books. I finished the 5th one 2 or 3 years ago. Like all the fan theories from the books, all the theories I came up with have come true so far. You know, like the thing is, it's cool, but the thing is, Martin's been setting them up for 5 books. It's pretty obvious to see the twists now because there's been enough setups and enough time. Like if he had the books finished before the like the thing is it took forever. He still hasn't had the 6th book out. Mm-hmm. So people have had almost a decade now of just working on everything that's come out, and they figured everything out already. Of course, it's been figured out by then. Yeah. When you have that big a gap,
it's a good show.
And everybody's at least glad that he's given the synopsis of what's going to happen to the showrunners, because I really don't want another Robert Jordan. I read the Wheel of Time series. That series was supposed to be 5 books. Then it became 7. Then it became 9. Then it eventually ended at 13. 14. But he died while making 12. And so all his notes were given to Brandon Sanderson, who finished it.
What's these books?
The Wheel of Time series. If you actually read the first Game of Thrones book, A Game of Thrones, which was the name of the first book, the series is actually called A Song of Ice and Fire, but the foreword is actually Robert Jordan. Like Robert Jordan, the Wheel of Time series finally is getting a TV series now. Like when Game of Thrones ends, they're going to start Wheel of Time. It was huge.
It's the same thing?
It's a fantasy series by Robert Jordan, and it's just gigantic. Like it's like 14 books this thick. Like the thing is, somebody back in the mid-90s optioned it for a show or for a movie, and then did a really cheap, low-budget, crappy thing of the first book in his basement or something like that, pretty much, and then held onto the rights for 20 years and just tried to get people to buy it from him so they could make a better one, and nobody would, and then his rights ran out, so now it's open, and his family sold it, I think, to the same company that's doing Game of Thrones.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool to see that. Like, if Game of Thrones ends, it will get another one.
Yeah, this one is massive. A lot more magic too. It was more sword and sorcery than Game of Thrones was, which
I don't know if I like that. I like it's more
there's
more steel and blood.
But the thing is, there's a lot of war. There's a lot of political backdealing. Essentially, in this world, the mages of the world and the knights and the paladins and all this, they work together to fight the devil himself coming back.
Okay.
But when he was struck down, he cursed the source of magic for all men. Like, men and women had separate sources of magic. So now it's cursed, and because the way men weaved magic is different than the way women did. It was interesting.
Okay.
It's a lot. It sounds like, if you actually read into it, it's more.
It sounds like some nerd shit.
Yeah, but anyway, so
shit.
What happened was, men, if they ever were able to, like all men mages, if they used magic, started to go crazy and turn evil. But there was a prophecy saying that the dragon will be reborn and everything like that. And
you wind up telling me the whole story.
No, but it's just essentially, this is all literally the first book. Like the first couple chapters, even, But
sounds interesting though.
And essentially it follows a group of people from a small village who are discovered by a mage, and they on their travels and how they become heroes.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have stories that I like. You said it was like 5 books originally, and it just
kept going. And eventually,
I like that. Like, if creative juices will allow it, then keep going, keep making them. Like, that's kind of like the Marvel Cinematic
Although the
Universe,
one thing is, book 9 and 9 was just like, everyone was just like, it dragged, and you're like, what? And then eventually it comes out like one thing in the whole book actually mattered. So it's just like, why did he even write that book? Like it was just an extra book. It was like, the fact that he wrote 12 essentially of books, 12 and a half, because he wrote a prequel. like he just in the middle of like I think 10 and 11, he just decided to write a prequel and put that out before 11. And
but like my point is that's like kind of like the cinematic universe.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
You know, like they just if you can cohesively keep it going, then you should.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I think they're doing something at Marvel that is groundbreaking, and some people don't like it. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Oh my God, I love it.
But like as a feat of cinema and a feat of art, like you can't beat it.
Well, I mean, even their worst is still pretty good. Like
I think the worst rated one right now
is Hulk. I think is the Incredible Hulk with not. I was about to say Jim Norton. I'm like, no, I would love to see him, the stand-up comic, as the Hulk. Just like, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. You know?
Stupid.
No, Edward Norton.
Yeah.
I was about to say Jim, and I was like, no, but yeah, and then Thor and
the Dark World.
Thor, Thor: The Dark World. Actually, Thor: The Dark World has a better rating than Thor 1.
Really?
And Thor 1 is actually really good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like according to Rotten Tomatoes, or it made more money. One of the two.
Okay.
But And I saw, what was it, Movie Fights. I don't know if Screen Junkies has this thing called Movie Fights where they every week they have a show where they debate things that are in movies and everything. And like last week they had Kevin Smith on, and the writer of Thor, the guy who wrote who also worked with Kevin Smith on. You watch The Flash?
Yeah, no, I never watched it. I mean, I've seen a few things.
It's been kind of dragging a little, and then Kevin Smith directed, and the guy who wrote Thor wrote it. And the last week's episode was amazing. Like it was like most people like see Iris on the screen because the actress who plays Iris is not very good, but like Kevin Smith and the writing just like, and it's like holy crap, she was good. How did that happen? You know,
right?
Like it's kind of like that whole thing of like seeing, you know, Hayden Christensen and what was that, Looper or whatever?
Yeah,
Leaper or Jumper or whatever.
Looper was in that's John Gordon Levitt.
Yeah, no. What was it?
That thing.
Jumper. That was it. Yeah. And he's actually decent. And you're like, wait, where was this when? And you realize an okay actor with good, you know, with a good director and a good script can make it great, and a bad actor with a good actor and a decent script can make you good. It's just like, and if you have a bad script and George Lucas, I mean, look at Ewan McGregor and Natalie Portman in those prequel movies.
Yeah. You know? Which movies was that?
The Star Wars prequels.
Oh, okay, see, I'm not a Star Wars fan. So
well, they were bad. Like, and we know those are great actors.
You're talking about the three that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay,
you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and but it's just like, whoa.
I
But
did see that.
what I was saying was they had the guy who wrote Thor on, and they were asking him to defend the movie, and he pointed out, because the main thing everyone's like, Loki's plan doesn't make sense. He goes, yeah, it does. And it's like, what? It's like his whole plan is make himself look. He's the hero. He thinks he's the hero because he wants his dad to love him and show that Thor is a hothead idiot who will destroy everything.
Right.
Yeah, he sets up Thor, but I mean, also kind of Thor did it to himself too. You know.
That was a good movie, man. I like all.
Oh
of them.
yeah.
I like all
Plus,
of them.
I think Kenneth Branagh really got it good with the whole because I mean he's a Shakespearean actor and director, and he did it really well.
Did you see Captain America: Civil War?
Oh, of course, I saw it. I saw it opening night.
A to F. What you give it?
Oh, A+.
A plus.
A+.
I don't give no A pluses, man. It's like I give it like I think I'll give it an A minus.
I thought it was.
I thought it was great though.
Are we allowed? I mean, have you talked about it already on the show?
A few times.
Yeah. So could we? Have you seen it?
I wish I would have.
Okay, well, then I'm going to talk a little spoilers.
I'm about to walk
so,
outside while you out the tub.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I'm literally looking.
We don't have to spoil it. I just wanted to get your take.
Oh no, just like the fact is, Zemo was a great villain. He beat the crap out of the Avengers without throwing a punch. Like that's a feat. Like I'm putting him up there with Loki on just how conniving and good a villain he was.
You put him up there with Loki because they're the only two still alive.
Well, there's that too. But no.
There's a reason why the rest of them are dead.
Let me think. No, Malekith died.
Y'all dead.
Yeah. We don't know about the Red Skull because I mean we do know now that the Tesseract is the space gem, so he could have been teleported somewhere.
Could have been in Abomination's still alive.
Yeah, they're never gonna. And Leader, they kind of set up that that dude was going to be the leader, and then
They
never
actually
did
tied
anything.
him into the books.
Yeah?
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, they clarified where he's at. And some
Crossbones
cinematic-
did live, and then he died.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
what's the top 4? Because we got to wrap this thing up. Top 4
Cinematic
MCU
universe?
movies.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier's a
Winter
good one.
Soldier's so amazing. That was again the Russo brothers. Which by the way, did you know that they wrote for Community and Arrested
Yeah, I heard
Development?
that after it came out.
And did you know that the Bluth stair car is in the background?
I saw that. See, I don't watch Community, so I didn't.
Well, that
get
was
the joke,
Arrested
but
Development, and
I
then
saw that.
the dean from Community, the Jim Rash, was also the guy at MIT who was.
Right.
Yeah, so everyone's joking around that after Community, the dean got promoted to working at MIT.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. But yeah, I got that. Guardians is up there.
Guardians is good.
Civil War, I'm putting it in my top.
Yeah.
And then I actually love Ant-Man. Ant-Man was such a surprise. So well done as a heist movie.
If I had to do the top 4, I would take off Ant-Man. That's a good one. I would take off Ant-Man, and I think I'd put Ultron in there.
Age of Ultron?
Yeah, that's my 4th one.
Yeah.
I think I can agree with you on every one of those except for the Ant-Man.
I
Ant-Man
just-
was good though.
Ant-Man was such a surprise at how well it was done, and it was it showed that Marvel has it right of like making the tone and theme of the movie match the hero as opposed to just making the same thing like they're doing.
Well,
in
they
DC.
did right by having Paul Rudd portray Scott Lang.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They did a good job with that.
Michael Douglas was a great Hank Pym.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, you know who their first choice was, but they couldn't get for Hank Pym, which I'm so glad they didn't go with? Steve Buscemi.
Oh man.
It would have been great, but it also would have like thrown it off so much.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Look, you're gonna need to use the Pym particles and go down.
No. Steve
Well, I mean,
Buscemi
you know
is
who
great.
the first choice was for Iron Man before they went with Robert Downey Jr., right? Tom Cruise.
No.
Yeah, so it's a good thing they don't go with their first choice sometimes, you know?
No, I mean, no, Robert Downey Jr.
But
is
apparently
Iron
Paul
Man.
Rudd was, all the way back at Edgar Wright when he was running the show, they wanted him to be Ant-Man, to be Scott Lang. So.
Nobody can portray Tony Stark like Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, well, that's just, like, he is Iron Man, and just as much as Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, you know? Like, Ryan Reynolds is so Deadpool. Like,
Yeah.
that's the role he was born to play almost.
But yeah, man. Before we get out of here, but yeah, like I said, the MCU, all the characters and how they interact with each other, and the Netflix.
And I
all that
can't
stuff.
wait for Doctor.
Defenders is gonna be
Uh,
I hope it works out.
Oh yeah, well they're doing really well with that Netflix. I
Yeah.
mean, they've three seasons.
I like
they've been so
Punisher.
strong. Punisher's getting his own series.
Punisher was dope.
Yeah, Punisher's getting his own series.
Punisher have you think guns is a superpower.
So some people would say it's the great. Some people call them the great equalizer because it doesn't matter how weak you are and how strong the other person is. You got a gun.
I hope the ramifications of the Civil War of the
They haven't.
The act?
Oh, they're going to because
I hope they have
they're already
it
doing
in
it in
Netflix.
Agents of Shield.
Yeah, I hope they translate it into because that was obviously set up in Daredevil and in Jessica Jones. That was obviously set up for this fear of superpowered beings.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like there was a great scene between Daredevil and the cop.
Yeah.
So we don't trust y'all superpowered people, the masked people, vigilantes. We don't trust y'all. And Jessica Jones, that lady she kidnapped. She tried to kill Jessica Jones. Remember that? There was a lady
Which
that
one? The one that was that set it up to look like she was investigating her husband.
Right.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. She said her parents got killed because of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And what happened in New York. See how that ties in is beautiful.
Yeah. I saw a great Tumblr post. It was like the only problem with Civil War is no one went, wait, like you're mad at us because a couple hundred people died while we were saving New York,
The whole world.
the world, but you were going to nuke New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like the powers that be were going to literally nuke set off a nuke
Yeah.
in New York, killing millions.
Iron Man has to send that to another dimension.
Right, killing. They would have killed millions, but they're mad at the Avengers for a few hundred people died because they couldn't save them while an alien invasion was happening. It's like Ultron, was going to destroy pretty much destroy the world.
Planet right there. That's an extinction level event.
Yeah, and about 600 people die. I mean, yes, it's great that there's accountability, as unlike Superman. But like
DC, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of DC. And they're playing catch up, and it's gonna be sloppy.
It is sloppy. It's so sloppy, and they have and the best thing is they have something with the Flash and Arrow shows, and they're not using that. Like Green Arrow and Flash in the movies aren't the same actors.
I know,
and that's just like. Not
because they that's how they do it in the books. Is it got all these universes? I mean, Marvel has a bunch of universes too,
right?
But they only focus on a few at a time. Like you get so confused with DC.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the MCU is with the exception of it's looking like Doctor Strange, all in the same universe, and you're probably going to start seeing a little bit of multiverse. And Ant-Man had the microverse, but
yeah, I hope the MCU is
it's going to probably stay self-contained, but the multiverse is such an integral part of Doctor Strange. That astral projection with all the crazy stuff in the trailer.
Yeah, but he's going to be in the MCU.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which
he might explore other dimensions and stuff like that. I could dig that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I like the fact that somebody on
I'm excited about that.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
I'm not a big Doctor Strange fan at all, but like I'm excited to see it because they haven't let me down yet.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor, and I want to see it when Infinity War happens. I just want a little bit of downtime. All the heroes are kind of recovering. And I just want Iron Man and Doctor Strange to argue who the best Sherlock Holmes was, and have Doctor Strange saying that Robert Downey Jr. was the best, and Iron Man saying no, it was that Benedict Cumberbatch guy, And it would be so funny if they were arguing for the other.
Dope. Now there's a scene in Invincible Iron Man where Iron Man meets up with Tony Stark meets up with Doctor Strange, and they give each other high fives for being awesome facial hair bros.
Yes, awesome facial hair bros.
That has to happen.
Yes,
that has to happen. They do have awesome facial hair though.
Yes.
But all right, before we get about here, what's new with your comedy there?
I'm actually, my schedule is starting to open up, so I should I've been having to take a year off just because 2 jobs in freelancing and 15 hours of school have just destroyed my social life.
Well, hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do to get to
where
you want to be.
I'm gonna start.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm probably gonna get back into the comedy rotation, start hitting shows up again come July, because then I'll have no classes.
Then you do that and you let me know and and tell people on the show.
Yeah. Well, and even though I'm not there, y'all should probably go check out the shows on Sundays at JP's. They got those open mics.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do that, man.
I think they got. Actually, they're not doing an open mic this time. I think they've got a feature show.
Yeah.
And they got somebody from Portlandia there this weekend.
Okay.
From the show Portlandia. So.
Hey, Mr. Jeff, come over here and rock out for 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I need a break.
All right, cool.
Jeff needs a break.
Mr. Jeff, as always, I'm rocking out at not as always, but most of the time I'm here at Anbooks 2, the comic book shop, and thank you to Mr. Jeff for letting me do that. Thanks again to Dan for rocking out for a little bit because I was desperate.
Yeah.
Because I was working on a show with video and
also this helped wake me up. Thank you.
Huh?
I was so freaking dying. I was like, I have energy now. So.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what, Dan's boring you to death already?
No.
And I gotta come and save this?
Dan is pretty boring.
Oh.
I'm not gonna front, but he's just yapping about mages and fairy tales.
Man.
But
No, I was yapping about the fact that Wheel of Time is getting a series.
What?
The Wheel of Time books are getting a series now.
What are you talking about?
You literally have some of them on your shelf over there?
No idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
He doesn't get anything. I literally posted a...
Mr. Jeff got 2 phones.
Yeah. Because I'm playing my game
It's something else, man.
on one phone and I'm cheating on my game on the other.
It's shame on you, bro.
That's what I
cheat.
do. I cheat. That's what I do.
That's not good.
That's how I
Cap.
play.
So what's up, Cap?
Not much.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah, so what's going on? Seriously, Dan boring you to death or?
A little bit. I mean,
why you being bored, Dad?
I mean, Dan just be yapping and yapping. I say one thing, and then it's 15 straight minutes of Dan yap.
That's what he does.
And then I say another thing, another 15 minutes. So it's 45 minutes. Dan said 3 things.
Not true.
That's true.
Damn it, Dan.
But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all rocking out with me a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just look.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, what's up? What's up?
Nothing, man. I just want to get your voice on it because you're here, and I gotta utilize you if you just here, just hanging out.
Yeah, I've been working on the order. My eyes are starting to cross because I've been looking at the same screen for 3 days straight. I got a headache. But yeah, word.
Cap got this crazy ass look, man.
So I saw Jungle Book.
Jungle Book was good.
Jungle Book was okay.
I like Jungle Book, man.
Okay, but you know, I saw the cartoon, so it spoiled the ending.
Yeah.
I already knew what was gonna happen.
Man.
And then, but I did like the joke, like the end joke. That was good stuff. Okay, so the orangutan is Christopher Walken.
Right.
So the first thing Mowgli picks up when he walks into the orangutan's
Kingdom
lair
Yeah.
is a cowbell. Because Christopher Walken's the guy that's, you know, the more cowbell.
I never
need
caught
more
that.
cowbell.
Yeah.
I never caught that.
Got a prescription. Got a fever. No prescription.
Right.
Cowbell. I was like, okay. I was the only person laughing at it, of course. But, you know.
Wow.
But yeah, it was all right, you know. It was, I don't know how they got all them animals to talk.
Yeah.
But that must be hard to train people to, like animals to do and stuff.
Man, that's crazy how they got them animals to talk.
Like Christopher Walken and
Aminals.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
And then emulate famous people, man. It was crazy. And why is that monkey so big, though?
Because he was like a prehistoric monkey.
He's a Gigantopithecus.
Yeah.
Which was a very, very large monkey.
Yeah.
But why is he? I mean,
he's the size of a house.
Yeah, so I'm saying it makes no sense in the time frame of this. So.
Because he's just a genetic throwback, you know.
He's
Mr.
King
Jeff.
Louis.
They need you, man.
Man.
I'll do it. I'll do it. You keep talking. You do it. I'll do it. You do that. I'll do it.
I love the kid to death, but he's bored as never shuts up.
Yeah.
You should try taking a road trip with him. It's totally different.
Yeah?
Road trip, he's the best guy to have with you ever.
What's that?
Oh man, we took a road trip to Houston.
Come on.
Had 2 kids in the back seat. Entertained them the whole way. I didn't hear a word out of his mouth. Nothing, not a word. Or get him drunk.
I don't want to get Dan drunk. Ever.
No.
I don't ever see that.
He becomes personable. I kid you not. One shot of alcohol. He's like, hi. Turns into a normal person.
Like an affable human being.
Yeah.
Just comfortable.
Yeah.
And a ladies' man kind of.
Almost. Should see him on stage.
Stop it. I've seen him. I've seen him do his thing. I was so like when you had an open mic and you had you had
Adam
a show.
Warrock, yeah.
You had what his name was?
Adam Warrock.
Adam Warrock. I want to come Ad Rock from Beastie Boys. And he was dope. But before that, and before I did my set, Dan did a set, and he was a comedian. He was doing a stand up, and I'm like, it's gonna be lame.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so whack. But but it takes courage to be on stage and do that thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
He was good. He was real good.
He told me I'm gonna start doing stand up, and I was like, "You do your it'd be funny to do that, right?" And he started throwing jokes at me, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is gonna."
So looking at your watch.
Wow. You know, oh look at my wrists, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know about this, Dan. You know, and he was determined. He could do this.
That's right.
And he asked me to go with him to Baton Rouge one day because he was going to do an open mic, and I went. And first of all, damn it if he wasn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told him, if you can make me chuckle, you'll make a group laugh. You'll make a crowd laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But you ain't gonna make me chuckle. And he did a couple times. So I was like, okay, we'll see. So, you know, he was funnier than the other people there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with his stand-up is he tells stories that happened to me, like they happened to him.
I do not.
And I'm like, Dan, that didn't happen to you. That was me. But, you know, my bird's here.
Yeah, the bird is hanging out, man.
Man, that bird comes
Is it
every
inside?
day. Nope.
I'm about to say.
He comes every day. Because you see the around underneath the bottom of those windows and up the sides, spiders collect in there.
Yeah.
And I've found at least 3 different black widows in there.
Really?
Bird comes and eats them.
That's cool.
He's my buddy.
You gotta give him a name.
Yeah, he's Bird.
Bird?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's a good name for Bird.
Well, you know what? Let's change his name.
Okay.
Name's Larry.
Larry?
Larry the Bird.
I didn't even catch it.
Yep.
Shame on me for not catching that. That was an awful joke.
Yep, it was horrible. But yeah, he comes and eats the spiders, man. Because the first time I saw the Black Widow, like one of the Black Widows, it kind of freaked me out. Because I'm like, ooh, a spider. Ooh, what's this? Oh, what's this red? Oh, that ain't cool. So I came inside, got a can of WD-40, a lighter, and a hammer. Set it on fire, and then beat it with a hammer.
One of those things didn't have to happen, Cap.
Oh, no, both of those things had to happen.
One of those things was unnecessary.
Yeah, no, they were both completely necessary.
You could have just sprayed it with some Raid. And it would
Oh,
just
no,
fine.
no, no.
No, he lit it on fire and then slammed it with a hammer.
Multiple times.
That's awful.
I think didn't you crack the concrete?
Yes, I did.
You should have called Natasha Romanoff.
No, he says with Larry takes care of that now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, you named the bird?
Yeah, it's Larry the Bird.
Okay.
Because he's 20.
Yeah.
There's a famous guy named
Yes.
Larry
Yes.
Play basketball for a
Bird or
little
something.
bit.
Yeah.
Might have won a championship or two.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of-
heard of him.
Have you been watching the finals, NBA finals? Yes.
I'm watching sports.
The NBA Finals.
That's 4 teams left. Who's in it?
The Pelicans?
No.
Of course not, because they suck.
Oh.
Um,
You're just a New Orleans, Louisiana sports hater.
He hates all sports.
The Bulls?
No. The Bulls, no.
Celtics.
No.
76ers.
Absolutely not. They're the worst team in the league.
The Knicks.
That's a little closer than the 76ers.
That's about all the teams I know.
Dan knows sports.
The Pacers.
Pacers were in the playoffs.
The Raptors.
They are in the playoffs. Look at you.
There's really a team called the
Toronto
Raptors?
Raptors, yeah.
Yeah, man, you knew that.
I totally just made that up.
Canadian.
Wow.
The Toronto Raptors, the only team in Canada.
Well, how they play in the American Sporting League if they're from Canada?
Well, basketball was invented by Canadian.
That's why it sucks so bad. Makes sense.
It was made by James Naismith, a professor. I think he was in Kansas University, but he's Canadian.
And he did it as a sport that could bridge the gap between football and baseball.
There you go.
Wow. There's no bats in basketball. There's no gap being bridged.
No, there is, because you play football in the fall and you play so you
time
play it in the
rise,
winter
okay,
because
yeah.
you can
Yeah,
play
yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Well, you got one right, the Raptors.
What's up, man?
You guys live?
Yeah.
Just saying hi.
What's
Anything
up?
in my folder, man?
Let's go look.
That was Cody Chamberlain.
Hello.
How you doing? Oh, you Mr. Cody. You're supposed to be doing the show. I'm Glenn.
Right now?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because I got to run out of here. But yeah, I remember I talked to you.
Oh, the email.
Your emails,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I thought you looked familiar.
Nice to meet
Mr.
you.
Cody Chamberlain.
Hello, podcast listeners.
Hey,
Quick little cameo. Nice intro.
yeah,
Amazing
quick little
comic
cameo.
writer and artist.
Creative comic book artist, comic book writer, illustrator, extraordinaire, astronaut, chef,
Guru.
Swami.
Consumer.
Yeah.
Any news on if they caught the guy that hit you yesterday?
I haven't heard anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
No.
Some a-hole hit and ran.
Yeah, I wasn't in the car. Hit me in the parking lot.
Come on.
Yeah. The
Real-
license plate was removed from the car.
of course.
Yeah.
Real quick, you want to give like a quick rundown of stuff you worked on, and we'll get you back on the show some other time.
Yeah, I got started on 30 Days a Night. Did art on that.
Okay.
A book called Tag with Keith Giffen at Boom Studios. Punk's the Comic with Josh
Right.
Fialkoff.
Yeah.
I wrote and created a book called Sweets, a murder mystery set in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And,
Saw that.
Recently, I've been doing some smaller kind of freelance stuff, hopping
Okay.
around.
That's cool.
Just did a thing for Marvel in 1602, and
1602 is dope.
wrote and drew a Halo project for 343.
Come
so that's
on.
pretty cool. And new scripts. I have a full script done for a 13-issue series I'm thumbnailing, and I'm writing 2 new scripts right now. So
Yeah, man.
stuff coming up soon.
It's good that you finally get to be on the show for a little bit. We got to get you on the show full on because I want to talk to you about how you got started in it, why you got started and stuff like that. And but real quick, because I always do a segment called 4, 3, 2, 1. I already did 4 with Dan, so I'm gonna give you number 3. Top 3 comic books of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's a tough question, you know.
Yeah.
Like what-
That's how we're gonna end the show.
I'm gonna put creepy and eerie into one category. Those
Okay.
are phenomenal. Some of the best talent ever in comics have gone through those books.
All right.
I guess you got to put Hellboy in there,
Okay.
and I'll put Sin City too. Yeah.
All right.
Not 2.
Not 2,
Right,
is it?
right.
Yeah.
Sin City also.
Right. right.
Did you ask for 3?
Yeah, just 3.
Okay, I'm gonna go with
Just 3.
those. I'm gonna stick by them. I mean, You ask me tomorrow, I'll probably have 3 different answers.
Top two Marvel Cinematic movies.
Oh, I haven't seen so many of them.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really a huge superhero guy. I mean, just my favorites. I did actually just saw Civil War. I really like Civil War a lot.
Okay, cool.
Going further back, I gotta say that that first Iron Man movie really kind of pulled me into that universe.
Yeah, that was a great genesis, a great spark to this whole universe. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I guess Civil War kind of brings it full circle.
Yeah.
Those men stuff. But surprisingly, I mean, I read a little bit of Thor, not much to know much about the character, but I really enjoyed the first Thor movie. I haven't seen the second.
I don't know. I like the second one a little more. This is me.
I need to see it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the first one.
But I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no,
you gonna be at the con or what?
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna have a table, maybe doing a panel. We'll see how that schedule works out.
All right, cool. I don't want to keep you, man.
Yeah,
So, but I appreciate it.
Y'all keep it going.
Good to see you, man.
But yeah, that's it, man. Dan, anything else you want to shoot out there? You don't have any dates coming up, right?
Not
right now.
Until July, no.
Okay.
I have to take a Spanish course this June, and I haven't taken a Spanish course in 10 years. So that's going to take a lot
You
of
should
my time.
implement that into your comedy.
Oh, yeah. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? No moleste los animales?
What? What? What was the second one?
No moleste los animales.
What's that?
Don't bother the animals.
Oh,
But the thing is,
I thought I said don't molest the animal.
that's the thing. Here's the thing. When my friend Al Tuminello in high school had a band called Destroyed by Fire, and they played a song only at concerts. It was never on an album, called No Moleste Los Animales. Mm-hmm. And they just repeat the words No Moleste Los Animales. And people would get mad at them like, why are you telling people to molest animals? First off, we say no moleste. And secondly, you got a dirty mind because moleste is Spanish for bother. Meanwhile, the weird thing is they had a song called Non-Consensual about non-consensual sex, and nobody cared about that, but you molest the animals, and it's like, oh.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Dan just took it to a whole nother level, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm going back to 2003 indie rock in Lafayette.
What is going on here? Yeah. All right. That's the show. That's the podcast. Thanks to Dan, Mr. Jeff, and Mr. Cody over there for being part of the show.
Yep.
As always, you can find me on Twitter, GrasshopperGP, Instagram, GrasshopperGP, spelled normally. Send me an email at grasshoppergp@yahoo.com for any types of sponsorships, advertisements, or if you just have something nice to say about the podcast. I really appreciate it. You are listening to this on GrasshopperGP Official. That's Grasshopper with 3 S's because when I made that account, I couldn't spell. GrasshopperGP Official, 3 S's is the YouTube account. Your boy GP, Dan, Mr. Jeff, Mr. Cody, AquaMethodPodcast. Y'all be good.
Yo.